Marriage is a beautiful thing, and part of the African tradition is whenever there's going to be a marriage between two families, there's what we call the bride price, or what we call the Lobola in Southern Africa, which is either materials, items, or money that are moved from one family to another, just in the spirit of togetherness and also in the spirit of friendship. But what happens whenever a woman who is married to a man, a pastor, a prophet, now birth in to a home where there was a traditional marriage going on, and asking questions? Why are you using my home for that? But that is her home. Was she living in that home? What happened? What did she hear? Well, those are some of the questions that we're going to be looking at, trying to find answers here as we speak together. So thank you so much for joining me. My name is Solomon Izangi Shams. They call me Uncle Solomon, as you can see. Great to have you here. I'm just here this time. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, I'm just here to try to reveal some of the investigations that I've made since Sunday, when I got the videos of a prophet in Pretoria, outside Pretoria, that is, in South Africa, called Prophet Mafa. So he goes from towns to towns and from town to town and does crusades and also try to do stuff. He runs a church called Liberation Ministries. And it's a video that I was been making the rounds, on social media the last day or so. People have been bringing that to my attention, but I actually got the videos on Sunday, but I needed to investigate. So I needed to speak to people. I needed to get to understand more before coming to actually speak about it, but not just take the video, just face value and put it out there. Because I think if I had taken the video the way that it was and put the video out there, then we're only going to know one side of the story, which is not really, doesn't give us a balanced idea of what really happened. Because if you watch that video, you would think the Prophet Mafa was getting married, and all that kind of stuff. But based on my investigation, that's not what happened. So please, I want to encourage you, please subscribe to this YouTube channel, Solomon's Temple. Subscribe now to Solomon's Temple. I'll really appreciate it if you can subscribe right away. Yes. So if you're just joining us right now, I want to welcome you again. Thank you so much for joining us. And wherever you are, make sure you drop me a comment. I want to see where you are. I want to see what you've been up to. Just to understand what you're doing and what you're going through. If this is your very first time, there are great videos on this YouTube channel that you can check out that I'm sure is going to help you, is going to bless you in so many different ways. So I'm going to check some of the comments that we have here. We got Precious saying, keep up the good job. And there's also Delicious again from Nairobi. Thank you so much for joining us, Anne. Blessed child of God, back again. Thank you so much for getting back again. Lorato from the Northern Cape. She said, I wish to hear more about this news from Crewman in the Northern Cape. Yolanda says, I am Yolanda from Pretoria. Uncle Solomon, thanks for opening. I started following you last week. Great. Good to have you here. It's so good to have you here. Talma from Zim. Thank you so much. Marvin from Madagascar, I'm sure. If that's what you meant. Ronnie from Tembisa. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming here and for tuning in. So here is let me give some of you guys who are not South Africans, who don't really know this Prophet Mafa, let me give you a little bit of a background around him. and who he is and all that kind of thing. So this is, where is that again? So this is Prophet Mafa. This is Prophet Mafa. That's him here, the big guy. That's Prophet Mafa. So we're going to be looking at, the Lobola. That's the bride price. In South Africa, we call it Lobola. So there was a Lobola issue that happened. So this is Prophet Mafa, and Prophet Mafa is sort of like, he runs a ministry, he does a lot of town to town sort of like crusades and all that kind of stuff. So he's popular around certain part of the country, and he also on TV doing all this deliverance and miracles and all that kind of stuff. My opinion, I don't even want to right now talk about his whether he's a false prophet or not. For me, he's not like your legit prophet. So that's going to be a conversation for another day. But Prophet Mafa himself, has been married to this woman. Her name is Jennifer. So together they run Liberation Ministries. He's been married to her for a while, and they have kids together. And she calls herself prophetess Jennifer also. Maybe if I take this off, you're going to be able to see it better. Yeah. So they had this miracle night called Sending Arrow Back to the Sender. So you see the kind of ministry that they run, that kind of deliverance, that kind of hype people up and then get people there and just say stuff that is just not theologically sound and all that kind of thing, So they've been married for a while now. But if they've been married together, then what happened? There's this video that I said that's been making the rounds. Now let's watch the video before we try to break it down, right? This is a video that was made by his wife, Jennifer. She made these videos. So I'm going to show you two short videos. She made it. Let's watch it together. Okay? So this is her coming into a home, which is a home that she used to share with her husband. So she came into the home. She's going from room to room. And then she came. So she's going to be speaking in Sutu quite a lot. Is it Swana quite a lot? Okay, so let me pause it there, right? She came and she is recording. She's going from room to room. She just came, she barged in. So obviously, and she said, this is my house. Okay, this is your house, but it seems like, okay, this is your house, then you should know this was going on. So obviously, maybe she wasn't living in the home or she rented the house. But then when she came in, she went from place to place and room, and she went straight to where this was happening, where a group of men were sitting. And this is her husband right there, sitting in red. Okay, that's Prophet Mafa right there, the one in red, with his arms folded. So if she come into her house and she's saying, this is my house, and her husband is there, and she's saying to her husband and the guests that were there, this is my house, what does that say about the whole situation? She will be speaking a lot in Swana. So some of you guys who understand Swana, please, in the comment section, please just try to interpret it for people who don't understand Swana, especially people who are not South Africans.
Who's getting married in my house? Can't tell permission yet.
Okay. She's saying, who's getting married in my house? So there's obviously a traditional wedding going on. When you pay the Lobola, which is the bride price, obviously, between two families, that means there's a marriage that is starting right there. So these are elders.
This is my house. I've got a marriage certificate.
So she's saying, this is my house. I got a marriage certificate. So obviously, this is her house, but it shows that she doesn't live there. So he wants to excuse her and speak to her in private.
I can see my fat. I didn't go from ground. I can let Namonta. I can let some of East. And get Geneva. Okay? I get Geneva and I get Geneva. Can I back up on my police? I got a fair. Kitty the right attack. Then I'm a police. Then I'm a police. This is my house. My furniture, my pots, my everything.
So let me play it again one last time for you, for those of you guys who just joined.
Timela, Legai, Arete, Kilna, Matwani. This is my house. Give it here. Nekukupa butore, kema ayalang kamuntunyak. Kwena maf. Who's getting married in my house? Can't tell permission yak.
So there was a traditional marriage, a traditional wedding going on.
This is my
And then
house.
she interrupted, saying this is my house, that she's not aware of that. Why are they using her house? But the husband didn't, if you can notice, the husband didn't come to speak to her, to calm down. It was another person, his friend, that did that.
I can see my fat. I didn't go from ground. I can let Namonta. I can let some of East. And get Geneva. Okay? I get Geneva and I get Geneva. Can I back up on my police? I got a fair. Kitty the right attack. Then I'm a police. Then I'm a police. This is my house. My furniture, my pots, my everything.
So that's basically her there, just trying to say, this is my house. Obviously, she doesn't live there. From what I heard, they got separated in 2019. She has not lived in that house from 2019. So officially, if you don't know, I will tell you, Prophet Mafa and his wife, Jennifer, they've been separated since 2019. Right? Since 2019. They're not divorced yet. I'm going to give you more details around it. But let's watch the second video. This is not the first. This is just the first video where she came in and they were seated. And she even followed them outside later on and made another video. So this is the second video.
Enough.
That's her husband there in red. Prophet Mafa. That's the husband. And she's Prophetess Jennifer. Yeah, it's embarrassing and shameful.
Hey, Jesus. Ah, Jesus. Divorce. Why is that divorce?
Yeah. So, one last time.
South Africa. South Africa. Enough. It's enough. Hey, Jesus. Ah, Jesus. Divorce. Why is that divorce?
So that's what happened. So this is the woman that made the video, Jennifer, and this is her husband. You can see him in the video. They've been separated since 2019, right? And now she's been doing her own thing. She runs her own so-called ministry now. This is her. This is what she calls herself, Prophetess Jennifer. She does her thing in Soshanguve, just outside Pretoria, here in South Africa. This is her. You can see she is also saying that she's definitely, she's sort of like in ministry, isn't it? Yeah. So this is her. So these are two leaders that we have. They claim to be, church leaders, and then we have this very shameful, embarrassing videos. They've been separated since 2019, but they don't want to publicly say they've been separated. Even until now, they've been, trying to hide it, right? So what was going on that day in that home that she butched in? From what I heard, she had actually learned that there's going to be a traditional wedding at the home. So she first thought it was her husband who was going to be getting married to another woman, because they separated because she felt like he's been cheating on her. Okay, let me even not talk about that now. So she felt that the husband was getting married. That was why she came. But they told her, no, it's not the husband who was getting married. It's somebody else. And who was getting married on that day? It was actually his sister. This is his sister, Grace. She was the one that's getting married on that day, not him. So officially, if you think it was Prophet Mafa that was getting married, that they were doing all the Lobola thing, it wasn't Prophet Mafa. It was his sister who was getting married. And this is his sister, like I said, and his sister got married to this man here. He's also said to be into ministry and all that kind of thing, Messiah. Right? So that was exactly what was happening on that day in the home. And this was them together. Even she put in on the traditional, wedding hall regalia and all that kind of stuff. That was the same day in the same house, the day they got married. So she came and made all these videos. First she came thinking it was him getting married, but then she now felt, created a whole drama, obviously, and discovered it wasn't him who was getting married. And from what I heard, again, like I said, they've been separated since 2019, so she doesn't live in that home. Not just that, I actually heard that she actually she accused him. Part of the problems they had in their marriage was she's been accusing him, Prophet Mafa, of cheating on her with other women. So there's just a whole lot of stuff. And he's also accused her of cheating on him and even having a baby with another man. He allegedly said she had a baby with this man. This is her and the man. And he's been wanting a DNA test, but she's been refusing. That's why they couldn't get divorced. Jennifer, does she have a baby? Does she have a baby with this man or not? I'm not sure, but I'm giving you information that I had from his side of the family. So she now had a baby with another man while she was still married, with this man, that is, while she was still married to Prophet Mafa. So that's the second child. So he requested for a DNA test, but she refused. She's forcing, from what I heard, she's forcing him to divorce her so that the baby can also gain part of the assets, but his family feels that child is not his child. And she must make everything simple and take a DNA test just so they can prove that the child is his or not. And I heard that she has given the family quite a lot of problems over the years and insult faith and all that kind of stuff, But normally in an African tradition, when you are paying bride price or Lobola, you do that, in your family's home, in your brother's home. And that was exactly what was happening that day. So this is like I said, this is how with the boyfriend who allegedly has a baby with her, and the Prophet Mafa needs a DNA test for him to be able to be sure. That was why she went to the home on that day, and went into a traditional wedding that is happening for his sister here with her now husband. These are some of the pictures from from the day. All the people that came around for the traditional wedding. Now, there's obviously quite a lot that is sort of like behind the scene that we don't see or we don't know. But fact is, Prophet Mafa has been separated with his wife for 2 years now. But they're not telling people that he's been separated. Why is that? I think there's a lot of dishonesty that's been happening. Even Prophet Mafa himself had a press, they released a media statement yesterday talking about the issue, saying, no, he isn't the one getting married and everything. And this is the problem I had with them. This is one of the major problems. In that media statement yesterday, this was what they said at the very end of it. They said, Prophet Tulaone, that is Prophet Mafa, and his wife, that is the prophetess, Jennifer, have engaged on this matter, and they have amicably resolved it. And they will also be releasing a video setting the record straight about what really transpired. They have engaged and settled the matter, and now they're going to release a video. Why didn't they release the video instead of releasing a media statement? How are they going to release a video? How are they even going to settle this amicably when she's not been living in the house for the last 2 years? They've been separated, and obviously you could see that there's a lot of bitterness and a lot of anger between them with the insults and everything that's been going on. You know, these are people that when she even came to the house and asked what's going on here, the husband didn't even speak to her. He didn't even try to calm her down. You could see that they don't have no relationship. They didn't even speak. He didn't even tolerate her. But now you're releasing a statement to now try to convince us that no, they've settled this amicably and they're going to set the record straight. How are they going to set the record straight when there is so much anger and so much hatred between them because of, you know, their marital issues, which is something that we don't know about? But if you release a press statement like this and try to just push things away and try to quiet things, it shows that you're dishonest. It shows that you're not coming straight and direct. You shouldn't even have included this in the press statement. That should have been better. But you include this in the press statement, it shows that you're deceitful. You're trying to show that the house is in order, everything is in order. No, you didn't even say that this man and this woman have been separated since 2019. They are no longer living as husband and a wife. They don't live in the same house. That was how she came into the house in the same place, in the same, the way that she did. Claiming she had papers and everything for the marriage and for the house, obviously, because they got married in community of property. So she's entitled to the house also. They're not divorced. They've been separated. So I feel there's a lot of dishonesty that came out from Prophet Mafa and his so-called media office, releasing and issuing this statement, which has a lot of dishonesty in it. Whatever drama had happened between in that home, it's a family thing. They can resolve it or whatever. But don't try to push everything because you're trying to protect your reputation. Because you're trying to sort of like, don't give people the impression that you have a marital problem. A lot of people have marital issues. It's fine. But resolve it appropriately. Resolve it the right way, your own way. But don't give statements like this publicly because you're trying to clean up the mess that was done at the weekend. Because you're trying to sort of like give people the impression that your family is in order, things are in order. But then we have videos here, which is very insultive towards you, towards your family, which your wife came in and you didn't even care to speak to her. You were just ignoring her totally. Yes, indeed, a problem here. They're not divorced, like I said. She wants a divorce, but he wants a DNA test for their second child because he felt the child isn't his. And according to his family, the child belongs to her boyfriend, this guy here. So he's saying, no, I'm not gonna, we are married in community of property, but I don't want to split things up and split my assets with a child that is not my child, or pay some sort of maintenance for a child that is not my child. So give me a DNA test and we could sort that out. But you see, all these things, they never made it publicly. They never put it publicly. So there's definitely fire on the mountain. There's definitely a lot that's going on between these two people. If you go and check his page, or if you go and check her page, you would see that they've been away from each other for 2 years now. You could see that from the photos. When was the last time he posted a photo of him together with her or with the children? Or when was the last time she posted a photo of them together with the children? But you see him doing ministry and going here, there. You see her doing the same stuff, going here, there. So I think we need to be very honest with these things. Yes, that traditional wedding was not Prophet Mafa's traditional wedding. So let's get it clear. It wasn't him getting married. He separated with his wife, but it wasn't him getting married again. All right. So I just wanted to put that out and just to make that clear, just so all of us would see it and understand it. So yeah, so people are making comments, and Sakani is saying, why refuse DNA? Something is off with this woman. Kumo is saying to think that there are gullible people who follow these lost fake prophets. So these days, everyone is a prophet. Lord help us. African Lastborn says 2 years too long. More Blessing is saying they're young in the things of God. They need to grow up, rest, and repent. Prudence is watching for the first time from Holland. Thank you, Prudence. The Sergio is saying separation is not divorce. They're still married. Yes, definitely. They're still married. So that was why she could say, you know, this is my house. Of course it's a house because they're still married. Married in community of property. They're not divorced. Tabo is saying, if she is innocent, why refuse to take DNA test? She calls herself a prophetess, but the behavior is that of the world. You know, she calls herself a prophetess, and then you go make a video like that, and which is just so unpleasant and so messy. Maybe there's a different way to handle that. You know, there's a different way to handle that. So, you know, for me, the thing here from this issue is when we have a problem, you know, we should not handle it like his wife, like the prophetess did. We should handle it a different way. And secondly, when there's a problem, there's a mess, we should not handle it like Prophet Mafa to try to cover it up, to say no, we release a media statement saying we have sorted it out amicably. Don't lie to cover a mess. Just be honest. We all have problems. We all go through issues. We all have somebody in the family that would come and create a whole mess and dramatic and all that kind of thing. It's just a reality of the differences that we have in every family. Elisiwe is saying too much drama. Tulani saying watching from Parktown, great water, Solomon, thank you. So Lois saying the behavior of that woman, really, those who follow them must think twice about it. Why couldn't they solve their matters without recording all that? Exactly. Komojo is saying both of them are scammers. A marriage is a transaction. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you. So thank you so much, guys. Let's be honest in what we do things. If there's a mess, let's try to be truthful in spite of the mess, and be straightforward when it comes to things. I would thank you so much. I will come back here at 2 o'clock. I'll be back here, and I'll be talking about J. Israel. Those pictures of him with his girlfriend, showcasing and telling us how not to behave as a leader, as a so-called pastor, which he is not. So I'm not shocked that those photos, he did what he did in those photos. But I'm going to come here and share the photos and all that. So thank you guys so much for joining me. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to this YouTube channel right away so you can check out other videos. God bless you.